A child is born into a wealthy family whose fortune is estimated at $70 billion. From an early age, the boy has everything one could possibly dream of. As he grows up, the boy begins to show an interest in sports, particularly baseball. Despite his busy schedule, his father makes time for him, constantly supporting his hobbies. When Richie grows older, professional baseball players begin training him. At the same time, the 12-year-old boy has to deal with things most children are not familiar with. Representing his father, Richie arrives in his own helicopter to announce the reopening of a factory. After receiving a set of gold-plated socket wrenches as a gift, the boy thanks the audience and leaves the ceremonial event. Getting back into the helicopter, he notices some neighborhood kids playing baseball nearby. At that moment, Richie realizes he misses simple childhood fun and genuine friendships. Upon returning home, the boy tells his father about his achievements and hands over the gift. Richie's father evaluates a mountain created in honor of their family. Sticking to his schedule, the boy obeys his butler, Herbert Cadbury, and heads off to a lesson with Professor Keenbean. The eccentric scientist invents a device that recycles garbage, an ultra-durable glue for clothing that makes it bulletproof, and a remote-controlled golden fly worth several $1 million. In the evening, Richie's father's business partner and associate, Lawrence Van Doe, visits the family. During dinner, Richie doesn't want to see Lawrence, so he sits at the far end of the table, communicating with his mother via mobile phone. Discussing financial matters, Lawrence asks Richard to stop making multimillion-dollar donations and investing in unprofitable ventures. The billionaire has never fired anyone and is willing to spend money to provide jobs for those in need. Their conversation is interrupted by Professor Keenbean, who presents Richard with his new invention, the Aroma Master. The device converts any scent into a digital audio signal. As he leaves the billionaire's house, Lawrence learns about the family crypt and decides to sneak in and seize his partner's fortune. The next morning, Richie struggles to get out of bed, but the new fitness coach, a hot blonde, is hard to resist. Copying Claudia's movements, Richie and Herbert admire her buns. After the workout, Richie notices a pimple on his face and decides to report it to his father using Richard's tracking system. His father is in a meeting with the U.S. president at the White House and finds it inconvenient to talk, but he is happy that his son is growing up. At the elite school he attends, Richie studies financial basics and practices fencing. Wanting to be a normal kid, he suggests to his classmates that they have some fun, but no one supports his idea. On his way home in a Rolls-Royce, Richie decides to cancel all his plans and play baseball with regular kids. Returning to the factory, he offers the neighborhood kids a game, but they think he's a snobbish rich kid who doesn't understand sports. Making a $10 bet, Richie easily hits Gloria's pitch. The kids give him their last few dollars and kick him off the field. Upset, Richie doesn't take the winnings and leaves. The Queen of England invites the family for tea. Regina notices her son is upset and asks Herbert to tell her what's wrong. Understanding that the boy isn't interested in official events and tea ceremonies, his mother lets him stay home for the weekend and play with kids. Before the flight, Lawrence's bodyguard, Ferguson, plants a bomb on the plane. During the flight, Richard decides to have some coffee and asks his wife to take over the controls. Grabbing the Aroma Master, he looks for chocolate but instead finds the bomb. Seeing the countdown timer, the billionaire throws the box out the window, but the bomb explodes, damaging the plane's tail. The couple crashes into the ocean. Meanwhile, the kids Richie played baseball with come over. Gloria's mother, Diana, has brought them. The children play basketball, ride ATVs, launch each other with a catapult, enjoy roller coasters, and have lunch at the home's private McDonald's. Herbert gets to know Diana better, giving her a tour of the mansion. After the fun, the guests prepare to leave. One boy demands $100 from Herbert, and Richie realizes the butler promised the kids money to spend time with him. Hearing about the plane crash, Lawrence grabs a bottle of champagne and takes over his partner's office. He celebrates his victory but is disappointed when Ferguson tells him that Richie was not on board. Richie learns about what happened and tries to track his father using a special program. The computer can't locate Richard, and the boy assumes his parents have died. Taking control of the company, Lawrence shuts down the unprofitable factory. Gloria calls Richie and tells him what happened. Realizing he's now responsible for his father's business, Richie heads to the office to take charge. Herbert, acting as Richie's guardian, allows the boy to make any decisions despite being underage. Richie reopens the factory, cuts the board members' salaries, and restarts chocolate bar production. He improves the company's finances, and the board begins supporting him, ignoring Lawrence. Feeling powerless, the evil partner comes up with a new plan to take over the company. During another meeting, police arrest Herbert after explosives are found in his room. Believing he's connected to the plane crash, authorities detain the butler and put him behind bars. Taking advantage of the situation, Lawrence becomes Richie's legal guardian and sole owner of the company. He doesn't let the boy leave the house, installing surveillance cameras throughout the mansion. Richie's parents have survived and are drifting in an inflatable raft in the ocean. Using limited food supplies, they try to survive and hope to be rescued. Spotting a suitcase with Regina's belongings floating nearby, Richard finds an electric razor inside and uses it to repair the tracking device. After building a signal transmitter, Richard sends a distress signal that his son might detect. Eavesdropping on Lawrence and Ferguson's conversations, Professor Keenbean learns about their plans. Meeting with Richie, the professor tells him everything and gives him corrosive materials to help Herbert escape prison. Receiving toothpaste with the corrosive substance and a postcard with a Latin message, the butler defends himself from an inmate's attack and escapes. Heading to Diana and Gloria, Richie and Herbert try to remotely launch the parent tracking program. They soon discover that his parents are alive but fail to get the coordinates because Ferguson cuts the network. Lawrence tries to extract the crypt's location from the professor. Ferguson informs his boss that the Rich family is alive and he knows their coordinates. Richie, Herbert, and the neighborhood kids decide to sneak into the house to find the parents' location. Knocking out a guard with a sack of manure, the kids break in, disable the cameras, and free the professor. Richie sneaks into a room and learns that his parents are very close. It turns out Lawrence found them and brought them home, but is holding them hostage. Soon, the kids are caught in a trap, and Ferguson locks them in the garbage processing cage. Hiding in the basement, Professor Keenbean sees what's happening and uses the superglue to neutralize Lawrence's guards. Ferguson activates the garbage processing machine. Stuck in the glue, the professor can't break free to save the kids. Using the remote-controlled wasp, he attacks Ferguson. The wasp stings the guard in the butt, and he hits the off switch with his head. Learning that the family crypt with the treasure is actually Richie's mountain, Lawrence forces the couple to take him there. After escaping, little Richie chases the criminal. Entering the vault, Lawrence finds that instead of bars of gold and diamonds, the crypt contains only junk. The Rich family stores their memories there. All money, gold, and jewelry are in the bank. Enraged, Lawrence shoots at Richie, who has treated his clothes with the bulletproof spray. The Rich family tries to escape and shuts the crypt, but Lawrence miraculously gets out. Desperate, Richard's former partner chases the billionaire family. Spotting them on a cliff, Ferguson activates a plasma beam and tries to destroy them. Herbert attacks the guard, preventing him from hitting Richie. Taking control of the plasma beam, Herbert shoots Lawrence, who falls off the cliff, catching his foot on a cable. To protect his family, Richard fires someone for the first time, and that someone is Lawrence. Some time passes. The neighborhood kids and Richie form a baseball team coached by Herbert. The rich Richie makes great progress and has a bright athletic future ahead. Lawrence and Ferguson clean Richie's grounds as part of their sentence. The butler and Diana kiss openly. Richard and Regina realize that their son is truly the richest kid in the world because he has something far more valuable, real friends. And that's all. Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to hit like.